Hello friends and potential friends. Well, today is Sunday, February 19th, I believe, 2023. Start out here in the green stalks where I'm basically just waiting on seeds. In fact, that's what this last week has been. Seeds and seedlings. Oh, look. Garden peach is trying to produce some more peaches, or pears, or what are they? Tomatoes. Blossoms. And around here on this side, we got garden peach tomatoes. There's only a few of them on here right now because I've already picked a couple dozen of them. And every one of them that I've picked has gone into the seed pot too. Another blossom down there. There's a few more on here and they'll be coming off before too long. But that's the name of the game this time of year for me, is seeds and seedlings. Let's go take a look at what's going on in the back. And speaking of seeds and seedlings, the lab is in a constant state of change this time of year. I've already moved a lot of the tomato seedlings out into the main beds, and most of these are pepper seedlings. There's some cayennes back there in the corner, some sweet banana peppers, California Wonder bell peppers in the back there, and a few more up front here. I'm still waiting on a few asparagus. There's some more banana peppers. There's one Everglades tomato plant that's come up, and there's another one that I just transplanted yesterday. Got some jalapenos up here in the front. A few tomatoes over here. These ones are garden peach. One Praxis cherry, I'm thinking about putting that on the front porch and getting some more seeds out of it. More garden peach back there in the back. And these ones are some more jalapenos. And a few more sweet banana peppers. Still have my rosemary back there. And the cuttings from the pear tree that still don't seem to be taken off. And those 3 olive seeds that I put in the dirt a while back. Those things have got a hard pit to them. That's going to take them a long time before they germinate. If they do. I hope they do. But if not, I've got more seeds in the house. And I can always walk up the street and pick up as many seeds as I want out of my neighbor's front yard. But it's a constant game of rearranging and making space and replanting and moving things outside. And that's what we do this time of year, getting ready for the spring and summer crops. Speaking of spring and summer crops, let's take a walk outside. Yep, there's my two garden buddies. Licorice, yeah, and Snowflake. How you doing, Snowflake? Yeah. Let's see, I still got one avocado up here on the patio. And that poor little comfrey plant. Haven't seen anything coming up in the ginger and turmeric yet. But they are usually late to germinate. As far as they're concerned, it's not quite spring yet. Everything else seems to think it's spring. Except this tower of salads. Never did anything this year. Not sure what's going on there. Still a couple of strawberries. Plenty of aloe. Elderberry looks the same as usual. Pineapples are doing good. Beans are coming along. You might notice I planted a few of the Praxis cherry tomatoes here in front of the beans. There's the bush beans over there with one lone jalapeno here next to the comfrey. Cilantro still hasn't started bolting. I suspect that's going to happen any day now. Radishes are diminishing fast because I keep eating them. And there's a few in here that are ready to come out. So they probably will be coming up shortly. But I've still got plenty in the kitchen. Broccoli. Not sure what's going on with these spots. This one's trying to form a head, but more than likely it's going to be bolting on me before it ever gets to be a head. Oh, and I noticed yesterday, got my first sweet potato slips starting to pop up. So they're starting to think that spring is coming as well. Plenty of comfrey at this end. And then we got this other broccoli head, which, as you can see, it's starting to form flowers. So I think I'm going to chop that off as soon as I put the camera down. Kale and Swiss chard are finally looking real good. I've been munching on them regular. And red Russian kale, I've been eating that all winter. Looking pretty good. And the cabbage collards, they never let me down. Those things grow like wildfire around here. And those will keep growing until I decide to pull them up to get ready for the winter crop. Still have a few empty beds in here, but that won't last too much longer. Cauliflower never did anything. And I think it's probably too late for them now. We just don't have a long enough cold spell for them. This Asian cabbage is still flowering, and I'll be pulling seeds off of them before too long. A few more radishes ready to come out. And I do have a few radishes just popping up. Those were pretty slow about germinating and not getting a very good germination rate on them, even though they came out of the same seed packs that these ones did. I think it's just a matter of the timing. The cabbages down here, these purple cabbage never really amounted to much, but the green acre cabbage, those are looking pretty good. That one's about the size of a tennis ball. Golf ball size here. This one's probably golf ball size. That one's about as small as a Brussels sprouts. And speaking of Brussels sprouts, they're growing good, but they never produced anything. And it's getting too late for them now because everything's deciding it's spring. Here I've got some of the tomatoes that I've moved outside. On this end I've got homestead tomatoes. And on this side I've got Floridad tomatoes. And oh yeah, still got a pineapple coming up. And those Kentucky Wonder pole beans over on the other side. And then I put another row of the Praxis cherry tomatoes in front of them. And I spotted the other day, little volunteer over here, a couple more sweet potatoes starting to pop up. I planted sweet potatoes in here last year, I believe, and apparently I missed one when I was digging them up. And then the thing that really tells me it's spring's coming is the patience garden. I have planted a few asparagus seedlings in here. I think I put 8 of them down at this end and a couple more up at this end. They're kind of spindly, pretty small, but everything here in the middle is just popping up on its own. These are year 3 and they're starting to get decent size. And every one of these, well, I think there was one of them that was popped up last week. The rest of them have all been popping up this week. And this one here I didn't see yesterday. Actually, I didn't see that one this morning when I came out here. So the patience garden is coming along nicely. And maybe this year I might actually get to eat a spear or two of that asparagus. And back here in the mini orchard, I think I'm gonna have to give up on that gardenia. I trimmed it back the other day, took off a lot of the dead stuff, and it looks like the rest of it is probably just as dead. I trimmed back the avocado also, mainly because it's still got new growth coming out all over the place. That one really surprised me. And then off in the rest of the mini orchard, Meyer lemon's doing good. The loquat's doing good. The original Ponderosa lemon, oh, we got to go over and look at these because I just noticed that my lemon blossoms are opened up. Oh, I love the smell of them things. I see a lot more blossoms popping out too. So it's not going to be long. We have something to replace this guy. That's a pretty small Ponderosa lemon, but it's going to eat good. Other parts of the mini orchard, we have this pineapple that's coming on. By next fall, that thing should be eating size, and I can hardly wait. A little bit of rosemary down around the guava. And as you can see, the guava's got new growth coming out all over the place. Pomegranate over here is spitting out a lot of new growth. The redbud, I forgot to mention this last week, but the redbud's got some leaves coming out on it too. I really need to trim that thing back. Got my fig tree over here that's still alive, and that's about all I can say for it. It does have a few leaves at the bottom there. The papayas, sadly, none of them survived. Every one of them is frozen all the way down to the ground. So I stuck in one of the avocados out here just to fill in the space. Got my other pear tree, or my other fig tree back there behind it. A little bit more rosemary. Here's my other Ponderosa lemon tree. The mulberry is doing good, and it looks like it's trying to start up some berries. Yeah, that one berry there, one berry there. A few more up in here. Yep, that thing's taken off. My poor little blueberry. It's one of two plants that I actually bought at the store. This one's been in here for 2 or 3 years now, and that one branch is all that's really left of it. I don't think it gets enough sun back here. And I'm sad to report that my moringa didn't make it through the Christmas freeze. It froze down to the ground too. So that's just a quick look around. It's sure looking like spring is coming down here. In fact, well, today I think we got up to about 77 for a high. Haven't seen any rain in a while, but 2 days ago we set a record high temperature at 87 degrees out at the airport, and my little weather station over there recorded 90 that afternoon, and that's a bit unusual. Historically, there have only been 2 years that we hit 90 degrees in February, and the last one of those was 1962. And according to the forecasts, we're going to be seeing 90s again next week. So I think spring is hit here. I can't talk for the rest of the country, but it sure looks like spring has sprung. And leaving that alone, because I know a lot of you don't want to hear it, I'll see you next time.